working on is about one that has to do with the regions that you've studied. Do you remember studying the U.S. regions? So here's a map of the U.S. Did you study in an area of the U.S. this year?
Ow?
You okay?
Yeah.
Ow.
We studied this one.
You studied this one?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what this region's called?
No.
It's called the Pacific Coast. The Pacific Coast region. Why is it called the Pacific Coast?
I don't remember.
What ocean is right here?
The Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean. And what's a coast? If I said we're going to the coast, this is a coast. This is a coast. We even have coasts in Michigan. That's a coast. What's the coast?
I can't remember.
Can't remember what
It's
a coast
been a
is.
long time.
That's okay. Look at what happens. Here's the water, and here's the land. Here's the water, and here's the land. These are the coasts. So what is the coast?
My mom was teaching about the coast means she doesn't remember that. Probably the water goes onto the land. That's what she's thinking.
Where the water touches the land. So any area where there's water and land. What do you know about the coast here, the Pacific coast? What do you think it's like?
I don't know.
Well, just imagine. Have you ever taken a trip out here?
Mm-mm.
No? What does a coast look like? Have you ever been to a beach? Never to a beach?
No.
Never where there's water?
Yeah.
You've been to water?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
Like on the area, sometimes there's like sand on the edges,
Mhm.
so the water just goes up there, and like there's this one thing that we're learning. It's probably down here somewhere. That there's like animals called the coconut crabs.
Oh, are there coconut crabs that live here?
No.
No?
Somewhere down here.
Somewhere down here.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk about an animal that lives on the coast today. Do you know what kind of animal this is?
Seal.
It's a seal. What do you know about seals?
They go into the water. They have fun. Even on the waves, they go wee.
They go. So we're going to. Actually, I lied. It looks like a seal. It's there's an animal that's very similar. It's actually a
Sea lion.
It's actually a sea lion. They look a lot alike, right? I even got confused.
Yeah.
It's a sea lion, and the sea lions live on the coast here in the Pacific, but they're having a problem. So we're going to read about their problem. What kind of text is this? Is this a book? Is it a letter? What does this look like? Where would you find this?
Probably in a book because, like, at home I have like a book of creatures.
You have a book of creatures?
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the different parts. So I see a big title. I see who it's by. It's only 2 pages long. So what do we call this?
A sea lion.
Well, that's a sea lion, but what kind of text are you reading?
Paragraphs.
There are paragraphs, you got that. But let's think about the category. We've got books, letters, websites, articles.
There's one, but I keep forgetting. Computers.
I found this on the computer, and it's a news article. So let's see when it was written. It was written January 22nd of 2016, so this year. It's a news article. The title is Changes in West Coast Waters Lead to Sea Lion Pups. What are pups?
Like when like a dog is born, they call the pup.
A pup, you got it. Sea lion pups going hungry. What do you think this is going to be about? We see the title, but what other things do you think you might hear in here?
The sea lions are probably hungry because they don't have that much food because penguins come and disturb the fishes.
Okay, we'll find out. Do you ever take notes when you read? Why do you take notes when you read?
Because when I do it is because when I do it, I keep forgetting. I forget, so I write them down, and I tell him. I show Mr. Erickson, and he's like, one time I wasn't reading. I only read about one page. I kept on writing for the whole entire time.
What did you write?
About a sea lion.
You were actually writing about a sea lion?
Yep.
No way. So you know quite a bit about sea lions.
Yep.
This is perfect. You might know some of the things that they already say in here. So you said you wrote down things while you were reading to remember them. Did you write down things for any other reason?
No.
Have you ever highlighted text?
Yep.
Why do you do that?
Because it's like a good artifact I could share with Mr. Erickson.
Something you find interesting? We're going to do something very similar today. In just a minute, you'll read about these sea lions. And while you're reading, I want you to mark up the paper. So you get to scribble on it. You're going to tell me when you get to a sentence that you already knew, a fact that you already know. So if I read this first one, sea lions live on the west coast of the United States. I would grab a pencil. I would put a check mark because that's something that I already knew. And I can keep track of the information that I know by recording it on the paper. So I would read this, so I'm reading, and I go, oh, already know that. Check it off. If I get to something that's confusing, let's say there's a word in there that you don't know, or it just doesn't make sense to you, you're going to put a question mark. Every year in June, sea lion mothers give birth to a pup. Let's say I didn't know the word pup, and this sentence didn't make sense to me, I'd put a question mark right here. If you read a sentence and you find it interesting or something strange or really surprising, a sentence that stands out to you, kind of like what you did when you highlighted and you wanted to show Mr. Erickson what you read about, then you put a exclamation point. And the last one, if you learn something new, you understand the sentence, but it's something that you didn't know before, you'll put a plus. So tell me exactly what I want you to do.
Okay, so if I see like one of the words I know about, I put a check, and if I find something, if I don't know, I just put a question mark. And if I just knew something new, I can put an X. And if I see somebody like read anything interesting, I can put an exclamation mark.
You got it, girl. You ready? All right. It's 2 pages long, and you don't need to do this bottom part about the facts.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give you this, and I'll let you read. I'll put this in front of you, too, so you can...
Should I just start from the sea lion?
Sure. And you can erase mine if you want, or just leave it, and I'm putting this here so you can look at it, okay?
Sea lions live on the west coast.
I'm actually going to have you read silently, so you can read it to yourself first in your head.
Oh.
Okay? All right. And you'll still do the markings, but just on your own. You knew all of these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's keep going. There's probably some new information in this part. Loss of food. What does that mean? If I say loss of food.
Like the food that like the loss of food, some sea lions actually lose their food.
What does that mean? If they lose their food?
They'll probably starve.
Do they have the food? No. All right, keep going. Don't forget about your other.
I know.
You know, right? Because we're going to talk about it in a minute, and I want you to use these if you find something really surprising, so that we could talk about it. And if something's confusing, even if there's a word in the sentence that you're not quite sure about, put the question mark. Okay. There weren't any sentences in here that you didn't know before? You knew that sardines and anchovies can't live in the water if it's too warm?
Mm-hmm.
You must be a West Coast expert. Okay. Let's continue. What is this word?
I don't know.
Can you sound it out?
Clampkin?
Plankton. Do you know what plankton is? No? You put a check mark. So we need to put a question mark here because you don't know what plankton is.
Ah, I thought that was a period.
Okay, so let's put a question mark there. And I want you to read this paragraph to me out loud.
Okay. This whole right.
Mm-hmm. Plankton is something that grows in the water. It's kind of like a plant, and fish eat it. Lots of fish eat it.
Yeah.
So that's what plankton is. Do you know what sardines are? What are sardines?
Sardines are little fish.
Mm-hmm. And what about anchovies?
I don't know.
So fish, like sardines and anchovies. This first word says fish, and you said sardines are fish. What about anchovies?
They're like fish.
They're fish too. All right, I want you to read the rest of this to me out loud.
Okay. Plankton are a group of small sea animals. They need...
Do we know that? Plankton are a group of small sea animals? Well, we just learned it, so if we read it for the first time, you'd put a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Or a plus mark. I just learned something new if you knew that word plankton. Good job.
I'll put a plus sign.
Good job. All right.
They need nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Say that after me.
Nitrogen.
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 And what else? Nitrogen
And sunlight.
So we didn't know that word nitrogen. Let's put a question mark by it. Okay.
And that's what's flat.
There we go.
The right wind can bring nitrogen from the deep.
Say it after me. Nitrogen.
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 I can't pronounce it good.
Do you know what nitrogen is?
A group of fish. No.
It's not a group of fish. Let's read this sentence.
It's the deep ocean.
They need nitrogen and sunlight. So they need sunlight and what else?
Nitrogen.
And nitrogen. Nitrogen is a gas that's in the air, but it can also be in the water. So like oxygen is in the air.
I didn't know that.
That's what we breathe. Nitrogen is a gas that's in the air too. It's also in water.
I didn't know that.
So now we can put a plus by it because we just learned that.
The right wind can bring nitrogen from the deep ocean to the sunniest surface.
This word is surface.
Oh.
Say that after me. Surface.
Surface.
What's a surface?
Surface is like something straight, and then the water just goes on it.
What is, point to a surface in here. Right here. This is the surface. Is the surface the top or the bottom?
Top.
It's the top. The right wind can bring nitrogen from the deep ocean to the sunny surface. Did you know that before? Really?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even know what nitrogen was. So how could you have known that before?
Oh.
So what should we put next to this?
A plus sign.
We should put a plus sign. This is called upwelling.
Ah.
The right wind can bring nitrogen up from the deep ocean to the surface. And what is that called?
Upwelling.
Upwelling.
I actually got a pet of shark.
Where?
Like in this place that they have like water, and then there's like this slide that you go under it, and then there's like this place that you can pet an animal.
That sounds scary. Did it want to eat your fingers?
No.
No. I'm glad. Because I like your fingers on your hand rather than a shark's tummy, right?
Yeah. A warm patch of water near California is called the Blob. That's what we call Mr. Erickson. King Blob.
All right. Is this something new?
Yep. And then we put that.
Did you find it interesting?
Yep. I'll put a plus sign.
Okay, a plus sign with.
It can stop upwelling.
What is upwelling?
Upwelling means that the water can rise up.
The water, specifically, what's in the water that comes up?
Water.
The water, but it has something in it. It's got a gas in it. Let's look back. Let's go back and find it.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Say that again.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Oh.
Let's say it 3 times. Nitrogen.
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 And it's going to be stuck in your head all day.
I'm going to say nitrogen every single day.
All right, let's keep going where we left off.
Without upwelling. The plankton cannot live without plankton to eat. The fish cannot live without fish to eat. Sea lions go hungry. Hungry pups are left alone and hungry in California.
Tell me what this was about. Without looking at it, tell me what it's about.
That sea lions are losing their food because fish are dying because they eat stuff off the.
You got it. They
eat the upwelling.
The things that come up in the upwelling.
And
what else happens?
And then they die.
They die, and what do the sea lions? What happens with the sea lions? They get hungry. Why?
Because the fish are dying.
And
because they're eating the upwelling.
The fish are eating the upwelling, but that's not happening. So the fish don't have anything to eat, and the sea lion go hungry. How are the sea lion and the fish connected?
I don't know.
Why is a fish important to a sea lion?
Because it's food for them.
It's food for them. Good. Is this new? What part did you know? And what do you find interesting?
This one.
Tell me what about it?
Like I knew before them when I was about 3 years old. I can still remember it. My mom said sea lions can go hungry because fish are dying.
Really?
Yep. A long time ago.
So what do we put by it?
Yeah. No, wait.
Something you already knew.
So
let's find where that was.
Right here.
Right here, right?
Yep.
But did you know about the plankton?
No.
No. Was that if you read that on your own the first time, was that confusing?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you put by it? There you go. All right, I want you to read out loud, and I want, without me telling you to put the markings as you read out loud, I want you to just do that sentence by sentence, okay?
When weather events like El Nino.
What's El Nino?
El Nino is like something happens to the mother's sea lion and it can't give birth anymore.
El Nino has to do with the weather. El Nino means there's a warm area of the ocean
where the sea lions can't go because if they live in warm water, they're gonna die. Mothers.
Did you know that already?
Yeah.
Did you read an article like this in class?
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to read out loud and show me your notes.
Weather events like El Nino happen. Fewer mother sea lions give birth to pups. 3 years ago, there were fewer sea lions too. It was not El Nino season. Thought that something else was going on. The earth is getting warmer. To events is called globa. Globa. Okay.
Look at the letter that's at the end.
Globala.
Global. Do you know what global warming is?
No.
So that has to do with the weather too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we make so much pollution. Mm-hmm. It puts a chemical in the air that's changing the way the weather is, and the temperature's getting warmer and warmer very gradually, very slowly. Mm-hmm. So this event is called global warming. The Earth is getting warmer. Start from here.
The event is called global warming or
Climate.
Close.
Climate. You were close.
Climate.
It's called global warming or
climate change.
I'll read one more sentence.
Global, where our care centers that help animals like the sea lion.
Nice job, Marisol. We might meet on Thursday. We might finish this up on Thursday.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Okay.
All right, adios.
Adios.
Que tenga buen